Hi everyone, this is going to be an introduction to how to use YouTube. Now I know many of you already know how to use YouTube, but I thought I would go over just a few basic things in case you are less familiar with it. So first of all, there's two ways to get to videos on YouTube. One way is that you can just type in a search in any browser. So if, for example, I was looking for YouTube videos by Daniel Pink, I could just type in YouTube Daniel Pink, and then when I searched for it, it would give me a list of results. And in fact, when I look at this result, I see it's at YouTube, so I know this would take me to a YouTube video. But you can also go right to YouTube, and so that's what we're going to do. So youtube.com in order to get there, and once you get there, there's a search bar at the top that lets you search for particular videos. Before we do that, I want to point out this sidebar here. Now if the sidebar is not showing, you can always get to it by clicking on these three horizontal lines. So right now we're at our home page, and then you also have your channel because you have a Gmail email, means that you have a Google channel. You can also click on trending and see which of the YouTube videos are trending. You can click on subscriptions to see things that YouTube suggests you might be interested in for subscriptions. You can get YouTube Red, which is a paid YouTube service. In terms of your library, you can see your history, you can see what you have marked as watch later, and you can see the videos that you have liked. And then here you see the subscriptions that you have subscribed to. So you can see that my only subscription are to the TED videos. And so this allows me to easily go to my TED subscription and make sure that I'm up to date on everything. Then you can also browse YouTube channels, and there's the option to rent movies through YouTube. But we're going to go back to the home page, and then we're going to search for a particular video. So up at the top here, you of course see a search bar. So I'm going to type in Daniel Pink, and I get all the videos by Daniel Pink. And the one that I want to look at is this first one, The Puzzle of Motivation. You'll see even in this preview you have a little bit of information. You get to see how long the video is right here. It says it's 18 minutes and 37 seconds. I can see it's a TED video. The little check means that it's verified. I can see it was posted 7 years ago, how many views it has, and then just a teeny information about it. CC means that it's also closed captioned. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And a couple of things. So first of all, almost all videos that are not put up by me or you will have an advertisement at the beginning. This is referred to as a pre-roll because it's at the beginning of the roll of video. You'll see that generally you don't have to watch the whole thing. You can skip it in some amount of time. So just right here we see we're 1 second into this advertisement. It's 59 seconds long, but we can skip it in just 4 seconds. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to play the play button here.
You to make 6 figures. Easy, break it down like this. 8 people.
And then we're going to skip it, which will bring us to the TED Talk by Daniel Pink. So let's go over some of the icons on this main screen. So first of all, we've been pressing this. It's the play and the pause button. This will move you to the next video in the channel. This is your volume. This, as I mentioned a minute ago, lets you know how much video has gone by, how much you've already watched, and this lets you know how much is remaining. I'm sorry, this lets you know the total amount, not how much is remaining. And then here you have closed caption, and we'll look at that in a minute. You also have some settings, and if you click on settings, this is to set your video player in YouTube. So if you want to, for example, have it at normal speed, or you want it to go faster or slower, if you want to turn subtitles on all the time so that they're always there, if you want to change the video quality, you can do any of that. This is the theater mode, and the theater mode changes the view so that, as you can see, it's stretched across the top, so it's bigger, but it's not full screen because we can still see this information on the bottom here. If you want to go to full screen, you click this one over here on the right, and now we are on full screen. And the way to get out of full screen is either down here in the lower right corner to click on exit full screen, or you can just press the escape key. To get out of theater mode, because that's where we were, I'll just click on that, and now we're back to where we started with that smaller window. The other thing I didn't mention is right here is your progress bar, so it lets you preview various parts of the video. It shows you how far you are. We're not very far. We're only 5 seconds in. And of course, this is a scrubber, so you can click and drag and move essentially the play needle on the video any place that you want. So we're going to go back to about here, and I'm going to turn it on, and then I'm also going to turn on the subtitles or the closed captions, just so you can see what that's like.
How we run our businesses. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, take a look at this.
All right, we're going to stop right there. So the amazing thing about YouTube is that it will automatically close caption all the videos that you upload. Now, it does a pretty amazing job, I think, because I can hear. But my understanding from my friends who are deaf and hearing impaired is that it doesn't do that great of a job if you can't also hear. So when I'm listening and watching the closed captions, I think it's amazing. When my deaf and hard of hearing friends are listening, they think it's not quite as amazing. But it's still pretty amazing that it can do as much as it can do. And we're going to see in a later video how you can change those closed captions so that they're more accurate. We're going to go ahead and click that again to get out of it. Now, a couple other things on this page. Let me just scroll up. So here you can see it's TED Talks, and you can see I have subscribed to it. If I have not subscribed to it, there will be a big subscribe button there, and if I click on it, I can subscribe to it. Over here again, we see that there's 5,800,000 views. We see how many people liked it, how many people disliked it. We see a little bit of information here, and we can show more to see more information. And then in between those two things are these three icons. So add to, if I click on that, it allows me to do two things. I can either choose to watch it later, in which case it'll go on my watch it later list that I can get to from my left-hand menu. I can also choose to add it to a playlist. And a playlist is essentially a collection or a group of videos that I have put in one place. So I might have a playlist called motivation videos, or I might have one called Dan Pink videos, or leadership videos, or whatever I want, and I can add all the videos I want to that collection. So right here I can either add it to an existing playlist, I don't have any playlists right now, or I can create a new playlist and put it on there. And this can be really helpful, especially those of you who teach or who work in a developmental way with other people. This allows you to put together a whole collection of videos and say to people, go ahead and just watch this playlist. So you don't have to send them links to all the individual videos. Okay, let's get out of that by clicking on it again. And let's go ahead and look at share. Now when you click the share video, it opens up a little bit, and you'll see you have three choices: share, embed, and email. And then you have all of your social share buttons here. So if, for example, I wanted to share this to Twitter, I could click on Twitter. It would open it in a new window. It would have the link already and a little bit of information already in the window to make it easy for me to share that on Twitter. The other thing I can do, of course, is just highlight this, which it already is, and then copy it, and then I can paste it anywhere. I can paste it in an email. I can paste it in Blogger, in the add a video window. I can, copy and paste it in any place that I want. Now there's kind of a new feature in YouTube, which is it allows you to start the video at a certain place. So right now you'll see our video ends with, our URL ends with U9Y. But if I click on this, you'll see now it's added time equals 1 minute 51 seconds, which means that's where it's going to start, because I've said start at 1 minute 51 seconds. So wherever the scrubber is, this number will change automatically. If I know where I want to start it, let's say I want to start it right at 6 minutes, I can go ahead and type in 6 minutes and press enter, and now it's at the end here, it says time equals 6 minutes. So it customizes the URL, it customizes the link that you share so that it'll start exactly where you want it to start. And this can be really helpful because, again, there's oftentimes I'll want to share videos with students or with other people, and they don't have to watch the whole first part. It's, you know, I could say to them, go ahead and scrub through it and start right at 6 minutes, but it's just easier to send them a link that starts right at 6 minutes. So if I copy this link and open up a new window and press enter, you'll see it starts with an ad,
The science of motivation. Number 1 was ambition. Have a dream.
which I'm now skipping, but now you'll see it started right at 6 minutes.
Same deal.
So this can be a really handy thing. All right, so other things on this page, when you scroll down, you see the comments, so you can add comments or read the comments that are there. And then over in the right-hand column, you will see additional videos. Now, because this is part of a channel, this is part of the TED Talks channel, the right-hand column should only list videos from the TED channel, so that I can just go to the next, to the next, to the next, and I will be getting TED videos. If I'm watching a video that is not formally part of a channel, then who knows what I'm going to get showing up in my right-hand thing here. Generally, it's some compilation based on what I've previously looked at. Now, one last thing before we go, you'll notice that our left-hand menu is gone. We can get to it by clicking on those 3 bars, and now I can go home, I can go to my channel, etc., etc., etc. So that is how you use YouTube.